Hey guys, here are the video instructions for topics in math today. We're still talking about planes, lines, and angles, and we're really going to focus on how you can use this in the real world. Today, you're going to have your check-in, and remember, if you score 75% or higher on that check-in, you'll be excused from the Google Meets tomorrow. The Google Meets tomorrow will just be focused on supporting students so that way they're successful on the end of the week quiz. So if you score that 75% or higher, remember that's telling me that like you got it, you don't need to review anymore, you're good to go for the end of the week quiz. If you score less than that, like don't worry, the Google Meets isn't like punishment or anything. It's just to make sure you have everything you need and understand all the topics so that way you can be successful on the end of the week quiz as well, which will go into the gradebook as a quiz, which is weighted heavier. All right, just a reminder that the lines and angles assignment that was assigned this week is due March 8th, and we have 29 more days left of the term, or 29 more days until spring break. Okay, so in class, we just kind of reviewed. We'll skip that part because you guys are distance learners and I want to make sure these videos are as short as possible. The one that I do want to review is the one that looks like this because there will be one question that looks like this on your check-in. All right, and it's also a really good practice problem for applying different tools that you've learned or different skills that you learned in math in order to solve a single problem. So in math, you like learn a lot of different skills, and then when you get to a math problem, it's your job to kind of like figure out what skills you can use in order to solve that problem. The skills you use might be different than like somebody else, and that's absolutely okay as long as you have the same answer. So that's kind of the nice thing about math is sometimes there's not just one correct way to do it. All right, so in this problem, we need to find angle H, and we know one of the skills we learned is that the sum of the angles of a triangle will all add up to equal 180. Ugh, this should be easy then, right? Except we don't know this angle here, which is going to prevent us from figuring out what this angle is right here. So before we figure out angle H, we need to figure out this angle down here. Okay, so let's see what else we can use to figure that out. So I noticed that we have this angle right here, and this is the angle on the outside of the triangle. One thing that we learned this week is that the angle of a straight line is 180 degrees. Okay, so we have a straight line right here. This is 148 degrees. We can definitely use this principle to figure out this angle right here. Okay, so I would just take 180 minus 140, oops, oh my goodness, my touch screen went all haywire. 100 and, that's better, 48 degrees. And if I do that on my calculator, because I do not like math, don't tell anybody though, we get 32 degrees. Okay, now we know that this angle is 32 degrees. Now that we know what this angle is, we can figure out angle H. We just have to take 180 minus 32 degrees minus 56 degrees, and that'll give us angle H. So 180 minus 32 minus 56 is 92. So that's how you would find out angle H. First, you have to figure out what this mysterious angle is by using your straight line principle, and then you figure out angle H after that. All right, the next one. So this one is really just kind of a practice of reading angles and applying some of those principles that you learned. So they are saying, hey, look, angle FA and E, FAE right here is 120 degrees. Cool. Now we need to figure out BAE. BAE. All right. So I definitely did this the hard way, and then it was actually a student in class who showed me an easier way to do this one. Okay, so we have a straight line right here, right? And remember that this little square right here means that this is 90 degrees. Okay, so this angle right here is 90 degrees, and we have this straight line right here. So if we were to use what we learned, a straight line is 180 degrees, and we know that we have 90 degrees right here. We could just subtract this 180, or subtract 90 from 180, and we'd be left with 90 degrees. So BAE, this angle right here, would just be 90 degrees. I use this information to first figure out this one and then this one and added those two together. So if you did that, that's absolutely fine. I think if you did that math, this one was 60 degrees, this one was 30 degrees. So if we added them together, we would also get 90. So just like I said in the last problem, like sometimes you might do different methods and that's absolutely okay as long as you get the same answer. And we did. So shout out to Chris for showing me the easy way to do that problem. Kind of embarrassed. All right, so that is the review of these hard ones. I'll go ahead and post a different video of the real world examples and then go ahead and take your check-in.